After decades of research into human aging, scientists have discovered something remarkable. Your body doesn't simply age gradually after 80, it transforms. According to new research from the Lancet Healthy Longevity, every human body crosses 5 specific biological thresholds once it reaches this age. These aren't minor changes, they're complete system reconfigurations that affect how your muscles work, how your brain processes information, and even how you sleep at night. What shocked researchers most is that these changes happen universally. It doesn't matter if you've exercised daily for 50 years or maintained a perfect diet. Your body activates these transformations automatically once you cross 80. Some of these changes protect you. Others accelerate decline if left unaddressed. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 biological transformations that occur after age 80. Sign number 3 is so subtle that even doctors miss it during routine checkups, yet it determines how peacefully you'll sleep and how long you'll maintain cognitive function. Before we start, I need to be crystal clear about something. This video is for educational awareness only. If you notice any of these changes in yourself or someone you love, you must speak with a doctor immediately. Only a medical professional can properly evaluate age-related changes and distinguish normal aging from conditions requiring treatment. All medical studies referenced are listed in the description for verification. Now, let's dive into the changes that every person over 80 experiences, starting with something that affects one of your most basic functions. Sign number 5. Your taste buds shrink and food loses its flavor. This isn't about becoming a picky eater or losing your appetite. We're talking about a measurable physical change in how your tongue functions. By age 80, the average person has lost approximately 70% of their taste buds. These microscopic sensors that once helped you savor your morning coffee or enjoy sweet fruit begin to flatten and die off. Here's why this happens. Each taste bud lives only about 10 days before your body replaces it. This regeneration process continues efficiently throughout most of your life. But after 80, cellular regeneration slows dramatically. Your body stops replacing taste buds at the same rate they die. According to research from the Monell Chemical Senses Center, this decline accelerates after 70 and becomes severe after 80. The result isn't just bland food, it's a complete sensory transformation. But taste bud loss creates dangers beyond disappointing meals. These sensors protect you by detecting spoiled food, bitter toxins, and excessive salt levels. When you lose this defense system, you unconsciously compensate by adding more salt or sugar to achieve the same satisfaction you once got naturally. A 2021 Harvard Health Review found that older adults who lost more than half their taste sensitivity were 40% more likely to develop hypertension or diabetes within 5 years. The cause wasn't aging itself, it was unconscious overconsumption of salt and sugar trying to recreate flavors they could no longer taste properly. Your saliva production also decreases significantly after 80, which further dulls flavor perception. Saliva carries taste molecules to your remaining taste buds. Without adequate saliva, even flavorful meals taste flat and cardboard-like. Scientists call this phenomenon taste fatigue. What makes this change particularly dangerous is that most people don't realize it's happening. They simply notice that food doesn't taste good anymore and eat less. This leads to gradual malnutrition without any awareness of the underlying cause. Your sense of smell, which accounts for approximately 80% of flavor perception, also declines sharply after 70 and accelerates after 80. Studies show that nearly half of adults over 80 have partial or total smell loss, known as presbyosmia. When both taste and smell diminish simultaneously, food becomes almost flavorless. This creates serious safety risks beyond nutrition. Many older adults can't detect gas leaks, smoke, or spoiled food. They can't smell when something is burning or when food has gone bad in the refrigerator. With reduced appetite from flavor loss, they begin eating less, spiraling into malnutrition without recognizing what's happening. If you notice flavors fading, this isn't a minor inconvenience. It's your body losing critical sensory protection systems. Document when this change started and how severely it affects daily eating. Then schedule a complete medical evaluation, including nutritional assessment. Doctors can test taste and smell function, check for underlying conditions causing the problem, and recommend interventions before malnutrition develops. But there's another change that goes deeper than your tongue, affecting your body's largest organ in ways that create serious health risks. Sign number 4. Your skin forgets how to heal. By age 80, your skin isn't just wrinkled, it's literally forgotten how to repair itself efficiently. A small cut that would have healed in days when you were 40 might now linger for weeks or months. This isn't simply slower healing, it's confused healing. Here's why this happens. A landmark 2022 study from Nature Aging discovered that after age 80, skin cells lose their molecular memory. When you get injured, even something as minor as a scratch, your body struggles to remember the repair protocol. Normally, specialized cells called fibroblasts rush to injury sites, follow a genetic blueprint, and rebuild tissue systematically. They know exactly what to do because they've done it thousands of times. But in people over 80, that blueprint starts fading. The fibroblasts wander. They respond late, weakly, or not at all. Research shows they lose the ability to coordinate effectively, arriving at wrong times or failing to produce adequate collagen for proper healing. That's why wounds take significantly longer to close and why bruises seem to appear from nowhere. It's not bad luck or clumsiness, it's a fundamental system breakdown at the cellular level. Your skin also thins by approximately 20% after 80, which means wounds penetrate deeper and infections develop faster. Blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to skin also harden with age, reducing circulation to healing sites. According to the Journal of Dermatological Sciences, collagen production drops by 75% between ages 25 and 80. By that point, even mild bumps can rupture fragile capillaries, causing large purple bruises known as senile purpura. The underlying cause is epigenetic drift. Think of your skin cells as students who once followed perfect instructions. With age, those instructions fade and blur. Cells start guessing how to repair damage. Some repair too little, others repair too much, forming excessive scar tissue. The precise coordination that once made healing effortless has disappeared. What makes this change so easy to miss is that people attribute slow healing to normal aging. They assume everyone over 80 heals slowly so they don't seek medical evaluation. But this acceptance masks a serious problem. Slow healing significantly increases infection risk. Bacteria get extended time to establish themselves in open wounds. Studies show that skin infections in people over 80 last 3 times longer than in middle-aged adults. The weakened immune system can't fight infections as effectively, creating a dangerous combination of poor healing and reduced infection resistance. If you notice wounds taking weeks to heal or bruises appearing without obvious cause, document specific examples with dates and photographs. Schedule a complete medical evaluation, including tests for diabetes, circulation problems, and nutritional deficiencies. All of these conditions worsen healing and require treatment. Researchers have found that low-level laser therapy and collagen peptides can improve wound healing speed by up to 50% in seniors. Proper hydration, vitamin C supplementation, and gentle sunlight exposure also help reactivate fibroblast activity. When your skin takes longer to heal, it's communicating that it needs more support. Don't ignore this message. But there's another change that many people notice every single night, yet almost no one connects it to the biological transformation happening after 80. Sign number 3. Your sleep clock flips and nights become unpredictable. This is the sign that shocks people most because we don't associate sleep problems with fundamental biological change. But here's the truth. After age 80, your brain's internal clock, the circadian rhythm that regulated sleep for decades, begins losing synchronization with actual time. Suddenly, you're wide awake at 3 a.m., napping after breakfast, and feeling exhausted long before sunset. This isn't insomnia or poor sleep habits. It's your master clock malfunctioning. Here's why this happens. Researchers at Harvard Medical School discovered that the brain's master clock, located in the suprachiasmatic nucleus behind your eyes, contains approximately 20,000 neurons that regulate your entire sleep-wake cycle. This cluster uses light signals from your eyes to control hormone release, body temperature, and alertness patterns. It tells your body when to release melatonin for sleep and cortisol for wakefulness. But after 80, this system weakens significantly. Your eyes absorb less light as the lens yellows and pupils shrink. The reduced light input means your brain receives weaker time signals. The master clock neurons also begin dying off, reducing the strength of circadian signals sent throughout your body. Your body still wants to sleep and wake, but it no longer knows precisely when to do either. Scientists call this advanced sleep phase syndrome. People fall asleep too early in the evening, wake in the middle of the night, and then feel drowsy during the day. It affects nearly 60% of people over 80, according to a 2022 sleep medicine review. What makes this change particularly dangerous is that circadian disruption affects far more than sleep timing. When your rhythm flips, body temperature regulation, hormone release, and digestion all fall out of sync. Your liver may metabolize food at incorrect times. Your heart rate might spike or drop unpredictably. Your immune system becomes confused about when to activate repair processes. A Journal of Gerontology study found that seniors with disrupted sleep rhythms had 3 times the risk of cardiovascular events and cognitive decline compared to those with stable patterns. The connection between sleep and brain health becomes critical after 80. During deep sleep, your brain activates the glymphatic system, a waste removal network that literally washes away toxins accumulated during waking hours. This system clears proteins like beta amyloid, the same proteins that accumulate in Alzheimer's disease. When sleep becomes shallow or fragmented due to circadian disruption, this cleaning process fails. Toxic proteins build up instead of being cleared. Over time, this accumulation contributes to cognitive decline and increases dementia risks significantly. Research shows that people over 80 with chronic sleep disruption have double the rate of cognitive impairment within 3 years. What makes this sign so easy to miss is that families dismiss it as normal aging. They see their loved one napping frequently or waking early and assume it's just what happens when you get older. They don't recognize it as a specific biological malfunction that requires intervention. If you notice your sleep timing shifting dramatically, keep a detailed sleep diary for 2 weeks. Record when you feel sleepy, when you actually sleep, when you wake, and how you feel during the day. This documentation helps doctors understand your circadian pattern and recommend targeted interventions. Light exposure therapy can reset disrupted circadian rhythms. Getting bright light exposure in the morning and avoiding bright lights in the evening helps retrain your master clock. Melatonin supplements taken at appropriate times can also strengthen sleep signals. Consistent meal timing reinforces your body's internal schedule. When you find yourself waking in darkness or nodding off in daylight, recognize this as your brain's clock losing calibration. It's not weakness or poor discipline. It's biology requiring recalibration through specific interventions. But now we arrive at a change that affects something most people take for granted until it starts disappearing. Sign number 2. Your muscles begin consuming themselves through sarcopenia. By age 80, something alarming begins happening beneath your skin. Your muscles, once strong and responsive, quietly start consuming themselves for energy. It's called sarcopenia, and it's one of the most dangerous yet invisible processes of aging. This doesn't happen suddenly. It creeps in gradually, turning power into weakness, strength into stiffness, and independence into dependency. Here's why this happens. According to a 2023 Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle study, more than 45% of people over 80 suffer from moderate to severe sarcopenia. Every year after 80, you lose approximately 1% of muscle mass and 2 to 3% of muscle strength. This occurs even if you remain active, eat well, and maintain normal weight. The fundamental cause is that your body's balance between building and breaking down protein collapses. Throughout your younger years, your body continuously breaks down muscle protein and rebuilds it, maintaining equilibrium. After 80, this balance tips sharply towards breakdown. You continue breaking down muscle tissue, but your body no longer rebuilds it fast enough to maintain muscle mass. Hormones critical for muscle maintenance, including testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone, plummet with age. Without adequate hormone signals, your body stops prioritizing muscle preservation. Instead, it begins cannibalizing muscle tissue for energy. This process releases amino acids that your body redirects to keep vital organs like the brain and heart functioning. The result isn't just smaller muscles, it's fundamental loss of physical capability. Your brain sends movement signals to muscles that have literally disappeared, processed for their amino acids. Research from the American Journal of Medicine found that seniors with sarcopenia are 5 times more likely to experience falls and fractures. Those who lose more than 10% of leg muscle mass double their mortality risk within 3 years. What makes sarcopenia particularly insidious is that it doesn't only affect strength. It affects your entire body system. Muscles act as reservoirs of amino acids that help produce immune cells and neurotransmitters. When muscle mass decreases significantly, your body loses this backup supply. That's why people with low muscle mass heal slower from injuries, get sicker frequently, and experience brain fog or low mood. The connection between muscle health and longevity is now undeniable. The weaker your muscles become, the shorter your predicted lifespan. Sarcopenia also disrupts balance and coordination. Your brain relies on constant feedback from muscle sensors to maintain equilibrium. When muscles shrink, these sensors provide weaker signals. Your brain struggles to coordinate movements precisely. This explains why people over 80 often say they don't feel steady anymore. They're not becoming clumsy, they're experiencing neurological confusion from muscles that no longer provide clear position feedback. What makes this change easy to miss is that muscle loss happens gradually and people compensate unconsciously. They use walls for support, avoid stairs, or simply stop attempting activities that require strength. Families help with tasks without recognizing that muscle loss, not aging itself, is the underlying problem. If you notice declining strength, difficulty rising from chairs, or unsteadiness when walking, schedule a comprehensive evaluation including muscle mass measurement. Doctors can assess sarcopenia severity using specialized scans and recommend targeted interventions. Resistance exercise remains effective even after 80. Studies show that strength training twice a week can rebuild muscle mass and improve function significantly within 12 weeks. Protein intake becomes critical. Most people over 80 don't consume adequate protein for muscle maintenance. Increasing high-quality protein to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight daily provides the building blocks your body needs. When your muscles begin consuming themselves, you can fight back effectively. Every resistance exercise session, every protein-rich meal, and every movement tells your body not to shut down muscle systems. But there's one final change that affects how your entire brain operates, and it happens silently, without any obvious external signs. Sign number 1. Your brain starts rewiring itself to survive. Around age 80, something extraordinary and unsettling begins happening inside your head. Your brain starts quietly rewiring itself, not because it wants to, but because it must survive. By this age, you've lost approximately 20% of your brain's white matter, the neural pathways that connect different brain regions and transmit signals between them. To compensate for this loss, your brain begins creating new routes around damaged circuits. It's an act of neurological self-preservation, but it comes with noticeable costs. Here's why this happens. According to a 2022 Nature Neuroscience study, this rewiring represents your brain's adaptive response to decades of accumulated damage. As neurons die or lose efficiency, nearby neurons take over their functions, forming improvised backup routes. Think of it like a highway system where major roads have closed. Your brain builds detours through side streets to maintain connection between destinations. The result is that you can still think, recall memories, and reason, but not as smoothly or quickly. Processing takes longer. Thoughts sometimes lose their thread midstream. This explains the cognitive experiences many people over 80 describe: walking into a room and forgetting why, struggling to recall familiar names, losing train of thought mid-sentence. These aren't necessarily signs of dementia, they're signs of detoured processing. Your brain is rerouting signals in real time through less efficient pathways. What makes this rewiring particularly interesting is that it's not random, it's strategic. Your brain prioritizes certain functions over others during this reorganization. Emotional memory and recognition stay remarkably strong even as analytical processing weakens. That's why someone at 82 might forget what they had for lunch, but vividly recall events from 70 years ago with perfect clarity. The limbic system, your emotional processing core, remains robust while the analytical cortex shows decline. Research shows this prioritization serves an evolutionary purpose. Social connection and emotional processing matter more for survival than complex calculation. Your brain allocates its limited resources accordingly. However, this rewiring process creates complications. When new neural connections form incorrectly or signals take inefficient routes, it causes slower reaction times, unsteady balance, and sudden emotional fluctuations. A 2021 JAMA Neurology report revealed that nearly 1 in 3 adults over 80 experience mild cognitive fluctuation due to misrouted neural activity. These are moments of sudden mental fog that appear and disappear unpredictably. They're not permanent damage, they're temporary confusion caused by overloaded or incorrectly routed circuits. The brain is learning new pathways and sometimes makes mistakes during this learning process. What makes this change easy to miss is that families often misinterpret these fluctuations. They assume their loved one is developing dementia when they're actually watching normal adaptive rewiring. The key difference is consistency. Dementia causes progressive, worsening decline. Adaptive rewiring causes variable performance that improves with practice and stimulation. If you notice cognitive changes, pay attention to the pattern. Does performance vary significantly day to day? Do challenging mental activities sometimes improve clarity? These patterns suggest rewiring rather than degeneration. Keep your brain actively building new connections. Every new conversation, puzzle, book, or skill lights up rewiring pathways and strengthens new routes. Mental stimulation after 80 isn't about preventing change. It's about directing that change toward functional adaptation. Schedule cognitive evaluation if changes concern you, but understand that some rewiring is normal and necessary. Your brain is fighting to maintain function despite structural losses. Support that fight with continuous engagement and challenge. What you must do next. If you recognize multiple signs in yourself or someone you love, don't panic, but don't delay either. Here's exactly what to do. First, document everything. Write down specific examples of each change you've noticed. When did it start? How often does it occur? What makes it better or worse? This documentation helps doctors understand patterns and severity. Second, schedule a comprehensive evaluation with your primary care doctor immediately. Don't wait for changes to worsen. Early intervention makes significant differences in outcomes for every condition we've discussed. Bring your documentation to the appointment. Third, request complete assessment including cognitive testing, nutritional evaluation, muscle mass measurement, and sleep pattern analysis. Don't let doctors dismiss changes as normal aging without thorough investigation. Many of these conditions have effective treatments when caught early. Fourth, focus on modifiable factors while waiting for your appointment. Increase protein intake to support muscle maintenance. Get morning sunlight exposure to strengthen circadian rhythms. Stay mentally and physically active to support neural rewiring. These actions may slow or partially reverse some changes. Remember, these 5 transformations happen universally after 80, but their severity and impact vary dramatically based on how you respond. Early recognition and targeted intervention can maintain function and quality of life significantly longer than passive acceptance. Finally, understand that experiencing these changes doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're alive and your body is still adapting. The fact that your brain rewires itself, that systems reorganize and compensate, proves your biology is still fighting to maintain function. Support that fight with awareness, action, and appropriate medical care. Which of these 5 signs have you noticed most? What questions do you have about these biological changes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else recognize important warning signs. If this information helped you understand aging after 80 better, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We create evidence-based health content specifically for older adults and their families. Share this video with anyone who needs this information. Early recognition of these changes can dramatically improve quality of life and longevity. Remember, knowledge is power, but only when you act on it. If you recognize multiple signs, make that doctor's appointment today. Your health is worth protecting.